Hi, blessings. I am so happy that you joined us again. Today we have Maya back again. We are talking about grinding in order to make your dreams happen. But the real about it,
right?
The reality of grinding to cause those dreams to happen, and what that really looks like for multi-generational, individuals, as well as where you are in your own space and place. What does that look like? So let's talk about the grind. So I was telling Maya, first, Maya, give your background and social media. And if you haven't seen our other videos with Maya, I'm going to try to put the links under this, but please check them out. She has a wealth of information. I love these conversations with her. She brings so much to my pursuit of becoming a published author and entrepreneur. She just brings a wealth of information, and I love it. So please check out all of her vlogs that are on this page, and then definitely follow her on her social media, which is
that girl Maya B, and that's spelled M-A-I-A-B, and then you can find me on Instagram at Maya B with 2 underscores behind it.
All right.
So yes, and then just to kind of reintroduce myself, I am a graduate student studying advertising and communications. My undergrad was in advertising management with a minor in art and cultural management. So yeah, and I'm actually finishing my degree this summer.
Yay, look at that. She is just go through. That's our advice.
It's a part of the grind.
It's part of the grind. Do the college thing all the way through. Don't take a break.
Yes.
That's what we say. Just keep going. Because the money looks different when you take a break. The energy, and like Maya said, it's like a muscle. You just got to keep using it, or you're going to lose a lot of the work ethic, mind capacity, the whole nine. Believe me, I know. Just go on through. I did it that same way. I just said, once I get in school, I'm just going to keep humping. And I always had an endeavor to possibly go back and get my PhD. And just my kids and life and everything, I never did. And honestly, I finally came to a realization that, wait a minute, I can kind of do the things that I want to do without a PhD, and a PhD doesn't have to define me. But if I would have went on straight through without taking a break, I would have ended up with a PhD. That's the reality of it. But so if you're doing the school thing, that's part of the grind. Go straight through and do the school thing. But I was telling Maya, I saw a vlog. I saw a vlog where there was a couple that had been together for 5 years, and they were talking about how rough their 4th year was, that it had been terrible. And part of it had been terrible because both of them had graduated. She was excelling in her career and doing her whole social media platform. He, on the other hand, had a lot of aspirations around what he had accomplished in college. Like, he was a 4.0 student. He was an All-American football player. So he had sort of this dream of the NFL. He also had this dream that jobs was just going to be throwing themselves at him because he had made these accomplishments in his academic career. And he struggled. He struggled, even to the point of having to be homeless and living in a car. A lot of it had to do with pride and trying to just do it on his own without depending on his parents and that whole thing, and not having to move back home and everything. But he struggled, and he said then he did a lot of exploration of these careers and jobs that were like Insta jobs. You're gonna make it rich being an Uber driver. You're gonna make it rich selling this product door to door. You're gonna make it rich doing X, Y, and Z. And he was trying to do that, and she had gotten to the point where she was really struggling to maintain a relationship, and she felt like he was like a bunny just hopping from one thing to another without any clear focus. Yeah, no real direction, and not coming up out of the college student atmosphere. And so one of the things that I noticed, because I hate to say it, a lot of this social media YouTube generation who grew up with it, everybody wants to be that instant baller. Everybody wants to be the instant brand. Everybody wants to be the instant this. And Maya and I talk about this all the time in passing. And I, someone 40 and refined, I don't believe in anything like that. I think it's grinding. You have to work very hard to achieve and accomplish the goals and the dreams that you have. And even if you don't know exactly what those goals and dreams are, you have to grind. And oftentimes it develops from the grind. It develops as you're going, as you're doing. And so how do you feel? Because you're in a generation that's like, you guys can accomplish the world. You can go see the world without a dime. You can go, you can build a company without any kind of background, backers, experience, nothing. And that you all are going to be America's next big everything. So
it is a sad reality because some people really do think that, like they do. But for one, I just have a look behind the curtain, so to speak, just because of what my degree is in. And then on top of that, I also just really look at the people that I like, right? Okay. And I look at their journey over time. Even like my favorite YouTubers have been on YouTube for 10 plus years now. Yes. So it's not a short thing, instantaneous thing at all, unless you already have some form of celebrity. That voice and gaining those Instagram followers or whatever it may be, is
or book sales.
Yeah, it's
believe me, book sales. Oh, so let's talk about book sales. So because there's this whole myth that nowadays that you're gonna make money as an author. You don't make money as an author most of the time, unless you are already a name, unless you're already a Gabrielle Union, unless you're already a LeBron James putting out a picture book, a Taraji P. Henson. You are not really gonna make money. The average sale of every book has always been $1 per book. $1, you get $1 for every book sold. And if your price point is less than, you know, $10, you're going to get probably 50 cents. So just put that in real perspective. You sell 10,000 books. The average print run for most bestsellers is 12,000 books. Did you know that? 12,000 books. So even if you sold out that first print run, 12,000 books, that's $12,000. I can't live off of $12,000. Can you live off of $12,000? And she don't have no kids, no babies, none of that. I can't live off of 12. So even if you made that $1 per book at $12,000, for you to be like a millionaire, you got to sell 1 million books. I don't know. That's not how the brand builds. And so then when you think about all the cost of promotion, all the time it takes to promote, all of your other life. So I used to always be like, I would love to be a full-time writer and the whole thing, but the reality is I need health insurance. And $12,000 is not going to cover health insurance. I need dental. My children need health and dental. We need housing, that whole thing.
We gotta eat.
We gotta eat. All of that stuff. And for someone like you, a millennial coming from college, you got student loan debt, graduate loan debt, just to live. You know what I'm saying? So some of this idea about let's really break down what cost is and how much profit lines, what that really looks like, it's very difficult. Now, does that mean stop your hustle, stop your grind, stop the dream machine?
Not at all. And something that I've been putting into perspective lately that has just been very new for me to start thinking about was because I knew kind of early on that like I wanted to go get my master's. And so that was going to have to be a sacrifice that I was going to have to make. It was going to take a year. We're going to be fine. And I really was like, yeah, there's going to be loans. We'll tackle that later at a later time. It'll be fine. But one thing that I really didn't think about was, okay, I'm done fresh out of college, fresh out of grad school. Now what, right? What does that look like for me? What does that job look like for me? What does that pay look like for me? And that is becoming something that I'm kind of coming to terms with because it is not what I expected, y'all. It is not what I expected. And of course, like I expected to, you know, start somewhere. I didn't expect to just come out being, you know, VP level. Right. Not at all.
But she could be. She could be.
Eventually. That is the goal. That is what we're grinding for.
That's what you're grinding for.
But what people are asking for you to start off is just no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even less so for, like you were just saying, to be a 110% full-time paid author is even less.
Even less.
And so you really have to start somewhere.
And that is most of the people who are entrepreneurs doing their own thing. So this is how I look oftentimes at, one, my writing is a love of writing. And if I don't make any money off of it, then it won't kill me, because I love just putting words on the page. Yep. I love being a part of the book community. I love vlogging. I love being in my social media space, talking about books and promoting literature. And so my degree is in that. It's all a part of who I am. There's not a day that goes by, whether in my day job or at night, that I'm not writing, I'm not communicating. And so this is something that's really important to me. And I don't think the dollar drives it. I don't think the dollar drives it. For many authors who are a part of the canon, when we talk about Toni Morrison, James Baldwin, Langston Hughes, all of those authors, Zora Neale Hurston, the money didn't drive the work. They didn't make any money. They were not making any money. Yes. Oftentimes they will have a sponsor, or they get some type of funding that will help them do the work.
And there are authors who were broke until like the bitter end, and then it got great.
Right. And many of those people have created legacies because of the grind that has resulted in them having some level of notoriety financially. Yep. But many of them, it's just not where our money came from, the art. But I do think what it affords us, which we often lack in the Black community, it affords us an outlet to explore our creativity, to be able to not just work ourselves until we die, you know, to have relationships beyond just our work and our career. Yep. And if you aren't fulfilled in your work, in your career, this is a place to really be fulfilled within your creativity, your art, your dream, your grind, that whole thing. I think you said it best when you said, let's put it in perspective. Yeah. Really, what are we trying to get from these dreams? And what are we trying to get from the grind, pursuing the dreams? It may not be, honestly, wealth. Yeah. And so if we go back, because that's what we do when you're over 40 and refined. You go back a little bit. When we go back, when African Americans were allowed the right to obtain higher education in so many different ways, it opened up an ability to become a part of the middle class in America. But that did not mean that you were going to make a certain amount of money. It just means that the opportunity was there. Absolutely. There were still tons of barriers to accessing higher paying jobs, and there were always still conditions where people...
So many
politics came into play, and many doors were closed, but it did afford many doors to be open and opportunity. And that's what I try to remind young people. Your education really is a key to open up some doors. That doesn't mean that you're going to make wealth from it.
Right.
It does not mean that you're going to skip steps 1 through 10 to get to a certain place. You still got to go through 1 through 10.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where we see a lot of people, my generation too, honestly, a lot of people don't want to go through steps 1 through 10. They don't want to grow any moss around their feet. They don't want to
Everybody wants this microwavable experience.
Because you might have did the school thing. Or maybe because you've been doing something for 6 months.
No.
Oftentimes, like YouTube for me, I tell her all the time, it's a long game. It's a long time.
Social media is a long game.
Social media is a long game. There are certain things I want to accomplish and do with it, but it's a long game. It gives me my own platform. It has opened up a better understanding of what, you know, self-publishing might look like, and being an entrepreneur owning my own might look like. But I'm grinding, guys. I am working hard, and I have worked hard in my career for a very long time. And I think doing that dual thing for a long time really does open up certain opportunities for you. So what do you think is the best advice to give regarding pursuing the dream, but recognizing you still need to grind?
You just have to find a good balance. So for me, I've been so fortunate to find a career path that I truly enjoy. For me, all forms and modes of communication is very fun. Specifically when you're trying to help people who can't do that, right? Mm-hmm. So I've worked with nonprofits. I've worked with people who do research that are very science-minded, that do not understand like how the common person thinks. Mm-hmm. And that's extremely fun for me. However, as you know, hobbies and just certain passion projects of mine, I have things that are more so fun and more so lighter that I really like to do. Some of the nonprofits that I've worked with deal with domestic violence, which is very hard to put a positive lens on, although that is what you're trying to do. But at the end of the day, you are talking about domestic violence. Some days I just want to look at, you know, a pretty house and take pictures of it and post it on a content-friendly social media page where everything is cohesive and it's all really nice and it's with bright, bubbly, and pretty furniture and it's great. So really just finding that balance there and realizing, you know, mentally, when is it time to take a break? I feel like that is the biggest thing. And people always ask me so many times, like, why did you go straight through? And in all honesty, I just knew that I can get it done in a year, right? Because I've been in school literally all of my life. And I think if I had to do it for 2 years, I really do think I would have went part-time.
Yeah. And I went straight through. So I did undergrad, law school, master's. Yeah. Straight through, having babies, being married, and working, and it was tremendous. And that's one of the reasons why I'm building this platform, because I would like to retire early, because I did grind so intensely for so long, doing all the things.
And then like just the mental game that plays on you, because while you are still in college past what was considered required, right? Because now at this stage, like, you have to get a bachelor's.
Yes. You got to. People
you have
go to school.
And the master's and or graduate school, whatever form that may be, is kind of perceived as extra. And so your friends are going off. They're living their life. They got jobs. They're making real money. Yeah. And like, you still over here trying to read this book and you got whatever else is going on and you're tired and you've been in school for forever.
Yeah.
But it's really a sacrifice that, you know, you have to kind of put in perspective and be honest with yourself about, you know, this is going to provide more opportunities for me. And this is just a set amount of time and a sacrifice that is going to pay off.
Yes, I totally agree. But grind. Don't believe the hype that you can skip steps no matter how talented you are. Be willing to do the work, to be able to have that in your bag, that you grinded, that you did all of this stuff, and focus on one area. Focus on one area, do it well, and then branch out and focus on another area and another area. How can you spend that one area that you're really passionate and focused on? Like she said, communication for her, mine is education. So when I think about education, yeah, my day job is education, but also this vlog is education. When I work with other writers, it's education. When I talk about, you know, pushing literature out in the community, is still education. So can you find one theme that you can thread through all of your grinding and create your own and aspire to do more with it? You got to think like that versus what I'm seeing a lot of just, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And when you look back on it, what have you created? What really can you stand on? And employers, I'm sorry, a lot of us got to go through an employer. They want to know, this looks like a bunch of indecisive, you know, habits. And I don't need anyone on my team like that. I need somebody who can stick and stay and who can push forward in having an expertise in one area, specific area. That's mostly what the experts want to see and those who are hiring want to see. So I would really recommend, don't lose your dream, but recognize no matter what you want to do, you are going to have to work very hard and very long for it to come out. And actually, like she said, while everybody's doing their thing, you're going to have to sacrifice some of that to be able to still do, to be able to see a lot of those dreams happen, and to see some normalcy, some stability come in place. You need health care. You need dental care. Don't deny yourself those things because you think you have this dream that's going to be so amazing.
And there comes a point where everybody has to kind of be humble
about
it. Like, you're never too good to have something happen where it may be you don't get the job that you wanted, that you feel as if you were qualified for. It may be an opportunity that's just passed by that you weren't prepared for, that you could have worked a little bit harder to actually get. But never, ever look down on an opportunity just because you think that it's beneath you or it's not exactly what you want to be doing. Every opportunity could then lead to something that you may want to do later on in the future, or it may even curve a new career path. You just never know.
You never know. And you never know who might have a door they can open for you that you would have never even understood, because you don't know everybody's background. You don't know everybody's you know, work history and connections. And so that's where the grinding come in. They like to see people who are working and grinding. The more you do it, it just opens more and more doors. I see all of this stuff on social media where I don't work for free. I work for free all the time. I work for free all the time. And oftentimes it returns in dividends that I had no idea would be available to me.
And sometimes it may not even be working for free. I hate the term, like, that's above my pay grade. Right? So, like, it can even be at a job and they'll say, hey, like, can you do this? Or I understand that this is new for you, but can you just try this? And it really may lead to something else.
Yes, it really does. And you're learning from all of it. You're learning whether you even like it. If you would do that more, if you could develop it more, if that develops something that sparks a creative avenue in another area, you're gonna learn from all of it. And so I just think, do it. In my role, I carry boxes and I drag carts and I do all kind of things that if you looked at my title, you would be like, why is she doing that? This is not what she's supposed to do. But she see me looking, carrying and carting and doing all kind of things.
And you see me holding lights and, you know, drafting up plans. I've even been a broadcast reporter before. That is completely from my job description.
Just doing it all because it all becomes a tool that you're able to put in this bag and pull out when you need it and use it for your own dream, for your own grind. But you got to be willing to do the work. It doesn't happen in a bubble. It doesn't happen with you sitting at home dreaming about your dream and contemplating and thinking about your dream and looking at everybody else's idea and their dreams. You have to grind. Start somewhere. Find that one thing. Maybe it's communication. Maybe it's education. Maybe it's art. Maybe it's writing. Find that one thing that you can then build a thread through all of the work that you do and grind. Get to work. Get to work. And then your dreams will definitely come to pass. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Pizzo's Pages. Please like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you're grinding towards. Tell us about your journey to meet your dreams and what are you not willing to give up on, even though you got to do the day-to-day in your life's work. Tell us what you think about all of these vlogs. And if you want us to cover something, remember Maya has a background in marketing and promotion and advertising. Are there any conversations you would like us to have that maybe we haven't had already? Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.